That's a monarch. She was just visiting my milkweed. So I'm going to assume she's way down there now. She has already laid her eggs. And I'll probably see caterpillars very soon. So this is where she was just on, and it will be looking for a needle in a haystack. Oh, here she comes again. She's coming back. Look at that. And I'm assuming she's laid an egg. They lay one single egg per leaf. Look at that. Here she comes. Oh my God. I'm on the wrong side. Look. There she is. There she is. She's feeding, but I think she's also going to lay eggs. And she did. She continued to lay eggs. This was a couple weeks ago, all over the plant. There were eggs everywhere. She would go into the milkweed, deep inside, and lay eggs. Not something I really wanted to deal with. I've done it. It's a lot of work, and I want a garden, and I need to do hummingbirds, and there is what the eggs look like. So here's what I'm going to do. There's one caterpillar on here, and there's a ton of eggs, and there's a milkweed there and a milkweed there. They do not touch. So the monarch caterpillar cannot go across. He's down here. Let me show you where he is. He is, oh, he was there. There he is. He's down there. Can you see him? Let's see if we can try to zoom in for a minute. See where he is? And then there's an egg next to him. So you got an egg and a caterpillar. Now, let me explain what's going on. My garden is a very natural nature garden. And as some of these caterpillars are hatching, I do believe that wasps, hoverflies, multiple birds are coming in and they eat caterpillars in my garden. That's what they do. We feed the birds. We have a lot of nature around here. So like in the wild, only the strongest and the smartest survive. This one probably stays way down under the leaves. There's more eggs there too. So I have decided right now, since I am thinking that most of them are probably disappearing, to cover the one small plant. And if I decide later, because I can transfer him onto the larger plant if he eats this down, then I will see if I'm going to cover that one later. I really didn't want to take down my wonderful trellis I built and cover, because I really like it and it's working good. But I'm going to start with the small one. I'm just going to kind of haphazardly throw it around on top so I can remove it. And then if I decide, I'll cover the whole thing, because I don't breed caterpillars, though we have. We've collected multiple species and put them in a butterfly house, and then we let them go years ago. But right now I'm concentrating on my garden, and that is what my garden is. It's a natural nature garden. We don't use pesticides. We don't need it, because most of the caterpillars, most of the pests are eaten by nature and animals that come in. But of course they don't all get eaten, and some of them survive. So we've got a really good balance. But unfortunately, the monarch butterfly caterpillars fall into that category. So they will eat them too, because they don't know. Birds don't know. Wasps don't know. They don't know that, that's a good thing. We're supposed to leave it. They have no idea, of course. So I'm going to go ahead and cover this one, and then I'll decide later what I'm going to do. As you know, I love my tool, and normally the tool is to cover plants to keep things out. This time I'm covering plants to keep things in, and I guess out as well. I'm going to cover the one tote, and that's what I'm doing here with tool. It's going to take such a small amount. It'll cost me, pennies. I'm going to put it on using the binder clips that you can get at the dollar stores. You get like a package of 12 for $1. And this way I can take it off when I want. Now the butterflies, of course, came a couple weeks ago. And then, of course, now the eggs are hatching. So they'll be protected in this tote. This is the milkweed that reseeded itself and came up in my totes. Now this one just has some watermelon trying to grow and mustard and some, tomatoes. But I actually want to redo that. It's got a 2 system. The onions are doing fabulous. Now in here, this one's doing really good. I've got a 2 system with 2 flower pots back there where I compost on the second one on the bottom and I grow on the top, but I do have watermelon growing. Here is my dilemma. There has been probably 50, let's just say dozens, of monarch butterfly eggs that are being laid. Now, you know how my garden works. We are nature friendly. We don't use any pesticides at all of any type. So nature comes in and does its things, whether it's insects like wasps or hoverflies, praying mantis, which we rarely see, but they are around here. Whatever, even ladybugs, they are doing their job by removing the tiny insects on there. Well, unfortunately, including the birds, you can't put a sign up that says, hey, this is monarchs, leave them alone. They don't know. So hummingbirds too, they will come in here, the hummingbirds, the small birds, everything, and pick the eggs off or the tiny caterpillars that are just hatching. And it doesn't matter what they are. Of course, nature doesn't allow them to take them all, but they sure can eliminate a lot of them. Now, I really need to get my garden going, and I'm working my tail off to get all my squash growing, which is doing fantastic. I have zucchini of all kinds, the yellow, cocozelle, black beauty, all over the garden doing good. I've got my tomatoes starting and all kinds of things. So it really wasn't in my agenda to start working with butterflies. I've done it once before, and this is not a joke. It can cost you hundreds of dollars to keep the monarch butterflies going, because 2 caterpillars can wipe that entire plant out. And then you go to the nursery and you see all these people running to buy these plants at 15, 20 bucks a piece, depending on the size, of course. And they're trying to keep all their monarchs alive because, well, sometimes they hatch and they will only eat one species of milkweed. So you can have the native, which I had last year, I think it was, and no matter what I bought, they wouldn't eat it. They just wouldn't eat it. This is the one they wanted. And the other issue is, it's not like I can order from the store milkweed. You have to find the milkweed that they want at a nursery. And if it's not available, what do? And we don't grow enough. You see what I'm growing here? Such a small amount. When 4 caterpillars could wipe out these plants. I met somebody recently, same problem. That was the only species of milkweed that her monarch butterfly caterpillars wanted. So here's the dilemma. I have left it for quite a few days knowing that they keep coming in laying eggs. The problem is you see them hatch. I saw one. See, here's a hummingbird. And you see what he's doing? Look at that. I'm going to stop. He's looking over the flowers. But the hummingbird is also going to pick the eggs off if they find the eggs. This is really good. See, they love this milkweed flower. They're looking for pollen right now in here. It's got a lot of pollen. There might be a small amount of nectar. But see what the hummingbird is doing? Well, as he is foraging through for flowers, he will also collect the tiny newly hatched monarchs as well as the eggs. So the caterpillars and the eggs will go. That's a real good lesson to show how he came around, looked around. He's been doing this all day, along with many other birds and insects. So here's what I'm going to do right now, and this is what I did. I decided to grab my tool out, you know I love my trusty tool, and cover the one plant in there that came up. It's a nice big plant, and why is this one a big plant when I say big, nice big leaves? Because it has only a few flowers. I might trim some of the flowers. This one is loaded with flowers, just like our brassicas that grow in the vegetable garden. As soon as they get flowers and seeds, they put all their energy into developing seeds, and then the leaves get really small. So it works with many, many plants. So I've decided to cover this one right now. I'll see how this goes. There is a caterpillar in there, and there are other eggs. I did a half a job on that. What I should have done is pulled down all my irrigation tubing and all the tomato stakes on there, but I didn't want to do that just because it's added work, and I actually had plans of planting something in there. And this was put together over a year ago, and it's going strong. I love it. So for now, I draped it around this one tote, clipped it on really good with just these clips. You can get like a dozen of them for $1 at any dollar store, any store really. Just draped it on, and it's completely 100%. I never like saying 100%. Let's say 99% covered from insects. There could be something in there I didn't see. So the birds can't get in there. The insects can't get in there, because I saw wasp all over here yesterday, and they're looking, and even honeybees, they're looking for something they can eat. So it's completely covered and clipped on. The hummingbird can't get in there to feed on the flowers. And now that caterpillar that's sitting on the bottom there, This is a smart one. It goes to the bottom. The ones that kind of stay on top are not as smart. They're being picked off. Is now safe. And I'll do an update on that and let you know what's going on. The best thing to do would have been to cover both of these. But then, of course, my milkweed needs to be pollinated if I want to collect the seeds. If I don't want to collect the seeds, it wouldn't matter, because that's what the hummingbird was doing. Not only is the hummingbird feeding, but the hummingbird is also pollinating the flowers. Now, here comes, I see a hoverfly in there. The hoverflies will collect insects and eggs. It's something tiny enough for them to pick up. I see them on the flowers. So I think I'm okay for the next few weeks as far as the watermelon, but I could always change it over, tool this one, move the caterpillar, and let the watermelon take off, because those plants are really big in there. So I thought I'd give you a little heads up of what's going on here and why I'm not really planting in here and just letting nature do its thing. Tell me what you think. What should I do? Oh, that hummingbird is back. Look at that. That is such a treat, because I've been out here and I rarely see them come to that. They just quickly come and leave. But that one must have been finding something else to eat, so it's spending more time here. Because hummingbirds, like a lot of animals, some of them are really smart and they know where their food source is. So with that, have a wonderful day. Let's see what happens. And don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye. Have a great day. This one I just found sitting on a brown leaf. So I took it off. It was on the plant that wasn't covered. And I was bringing it to the table, just do a quick photo. And then I was going to put it underneath the tool. Look what happened. Oh my gosh, look. The earwig was trying to eat the monarch when I put it down here to get a photo. So I don't know how he's doing, but he was being attacked by an earwig. And I did not know that. I'm going to move this one, and the earwig is gone. That's what was in the leaf holding on to the monarch caterpillar. Wow. I didn't know it until I laid him here to get a photo. Hope he's okay, but we'll move him with the other ones.